Hello again everyone, and welcome back to Crochet Rocks. My name's Tracy, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a seamless solid granny square. You may remember the previous one I have done, and I'll just show that to you, the one I did for beginners. You always get a seam coming up this edge where you join, and in some it's a lot more visible than others. Because I only do 2 chain, it's not quite as visible as if you had 3, but there is still just a visible line there. So there is a way of making it a completely seamless granny square, and I'm going to do that for you today. So it's just a little bit more difficult, so that's why I didn't do it in the beginning, because it's a little bit harder for a beginner. There are little bits that you really have to watch out for. There is also another way of making a seamless granny square, solid granny square, but you have to turn your work round every line, every time you go round, and then you get visible ridges, and you either get a visible ridge here, like around this bit, or around this bit, and then you have to be careful which way you sew them, and you always get a back edge on the front as well. So I'm not keen on the back, so I like this one better. And for this tutorial I'm going to use a DK weight yarn. This one I got in Poundland, and I'm going to use a 4.5mm hook, and my handy snippers are back. Oh, and all right, sometimes they go like that. That's it. So they're not right, but now they're right. That's fine. So I made this one in a variegated, so that just shows you what it's like if you use a variegated yarn, and that was also from Poundland, just a double knit. So I'm going to make this with the 4 chain in the center and joining with the slip stitch. I'll just get some yarn out. Okay, so I'm going to make my slip knot. And 4 chain, and join it with a slip stitch to make the ring. If you're not particularly fast at crochet, then obviously you can pause the video, and if you want to familiarise yourself with how to make the ring, and you can watch the beginner's video, and it's a little bit slower and goes into more depth. But for this one I'm just going to chain 2. And so you want 3 lots of 3 trebles in this ring. So the 2 chain counts as 1. And there is my 3rd. In between 2 chain, and then another 3 treble. In this video, I'm assuming you know how to do these stitches already. As I say, I do have tutorials on the treble crochet, which is a UK term, double crochet in the US. So if you want to familiarise yourself with these stitches beforehand, but I'm concentrating on this particular one on a more advanced crocheter, because when you watch a tutorial, if you're already okay at and know what the stitches are, it can be quite off-putting just to keep watching a very slow tutorial. So that's my 3rd. Make the 4th. So on my previous video, and ones you may have seen, you will do 2 chain and you'll slip stitch into here. But if we want to make this seamless, we do a treble crochet into this top chain. So where you would slip stitch, you do a treble, and that puts you slap bang in the middle of this gap. So chain 2, 1 treble into the gap. Now that counts as your 2 corner trebles on this side. So now we need to go around. The only thing is, this does make that stitch look a little strange, but you have to remember to go into that one as well, because oh, I missed it. It's because I'm working at a strange angle. So yes, you need to go into that one, and that one. It's only on this particular part where this one does look strange, but if you look closely you can just see the hole there. So you go in there, that's the base of the previous chain, and then you need to go into the stitch in the center, and then the last one. That's the only one that does look a little odd. So then we make our corner with 2 treble, 2 chain and 2 treble. And just as before, don't miss that first one, pull it aside a little way so that you've got the 3. And then we're back at the corner. And I'll go through this whole round with you because it's a short one. And I want to show you how it looks at the corner because it is a little bit different. And that's where you have to sort of have your wits about you a little bit, because it does look a little bit different to normal because you've done that treble crochet into the chain. It's worth doing if you want to have something that is seamless. My seams didn't look too bad in the ones I've shown you, but I have seen some, and some that I've done in the past, where the seam's more visible, and it's not always nice to have the seam. And this works with any granny square. This works with going in a square for any, or the hexagon, anything that you want to do. It works by the same sort of principle. So to these 3. So now we're at the corner and it does look different. So you just have to remember that these are the 2 chain, and you have to go into this gap for your 2 chain. It can look a little confusing. I just wanted to show you how different it looks. So now you need to do your, what would be your chain, but you're going to do a treble crochet in there instead, and we're back round again. 2 chain and 1 treble in the gap, because those chain are our other treble. So now we're going to this stitch, and then into this one. It's easy to sort of miss those because they do look like they're together there. And just keep going around as normal. If I've gone ahead of you at any time, just pause the video and catch up. But I've aimed this, not at the beginner, but it's, you know, it is a nicer way to do that. Pull some yarn out, and I do my 2 chain and 2 treble. It's a pretty colour, this yarn, but it does split a little bit. Can't really moan about it because it's not very expensive at all. From Poundland you get 2 50-gram balls. I think you get, it's on 3 for 2, so you get 3 for £2, which is 150 grams for £2, so you can't really moan. It's nice and soft, and it's a very nice colour. They do it in a lovely mint green. Okay, so back at the corner. Do treble again. And pull it aside not to miss that one. If at any time you think you've missed one, you can always count them along. I think this row there's 11, and the next row there'll be 15 or thereabouts. Can't remember now. But all the sides should have the same, obviously, amount. It's an easy way to see if you've gone into them all. Back at another corner. And then into that one, It likes to hide. And then I'll show you the last corner again. Well, not the last one, is it? Not the round yet. Incidentally, you might have seen my picture on YouTube is like a pixel Mario blanket, and I made that with this particular square, but just this part. I made lots of small ones and sewed them together. That sewing took forever, but there is an easier way to join them. So yes, I'll show you again. So that's where it looks a little different, and it's easy to forget and go into there. But just remember, when you get to this part, it's straight into the big gap. And you do your 2. And then top of the chain, a treble crochet. And it's actually growing quite nicely, and it's, pardon me, sorry, 2 chain. 1 treble. And so I'm going to pause the video, and when you get all the way around, I'll meet you back when we get back to the center, because everything is exactly the same as before, and I'll just meet you at the end and show you how I end off. Hello, I'm back, and I've made it near enough all the way around. I've just got this last side to do, so I'll just go into my corner here. Ooh. 2 chain, go into that one, mustn't miss it, and all the way along, 1 treble in each, just like we have been doing all along. And it's just slightly different when we end off. So of course you can make this square as big as you want. It can be smaller, just keep going. But the very last row, when you get to the end, this is my last proper stitch. So this is where I go into my 2 trebles for the corner. And as it's the last row, instead of doing a treble crochet in there, do 2 chain, slip stitch into it, and to turn it, get it through. And I like to make it really low down so it doesn't bulk up. Snip it off. And so now, I think I pulled that a little bit tight, so that's probably why it looks a little odd there. But now you get the normal 2 chain at the corner, and once that's sewn in, you won't notice anything different, and you've got a completely seamless granny square. Whereas on this one, there is a seam. Granted, they're not so bad on mine, because I do only have 2 chain, and that helps. If you have 3 chain, it's just a little too bulky. The way I look at it is, if you have a stitch like a double crochet or a single crochet in US terms, then when you yarn over, you pull through both loops and it's the end of the stitch. So if that just needs 1 turning chain. If you do a half treble, which is a half double in the US, again, you yarn over and you pull through all of the loops. So to me, that's 1 turning chain. And if you're doing a treble crochet, which is a double crochet in US terms, you pull through 2 and then you yarn over, pull through 2. That's just 2 stitches. So to me, that is 2 chain. And if you did a double treble or a treble crochet in US terms, where you yarn over twice and you go through 2, go through 2, go through 2, 3 turning chain. So that's how I always work. But yeah, that's the seamless granny square, a solid granny square. And you can't see, apart from when I've sewn that in, you won't see anything. So thank you very much for watching. If I could get you to please like this video and share it, if you subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell and you'll be told when there's new videos. I do have a lot of videos coming up and I've just been uploading quite a few. I have a lot of giveaways as well planned, so thank you very much for watching, and bye for now.